Shatawale, what's the downside? Your boy Patrik Barfi, High Life Radio, and LTA, Financial Peace, and the Brono. Kasem, if we are Juma so hard, and so, Huano, esa, na, the piano, as a Yaman Shadan Kosi. The Juman de you, and Yaman Kosi. Sometimes near na enye bibia, obi na ya na bibia, ya isi kasama yentutu niye. Say, bibi say, kosu life ma. Every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. share ha. Na ina imi sika se mo juma yisua de na ina yin together. And they will be some konkrama the oma no home buying. Should I buy a house now or or wait for mortgage rates to go down? In then say mortgage rates no cost ro bebree. Ti yen twen say ye beto dan and as yen twen na mrafo na say ye wait. Questions that many bebree ni na no ɛfa mortgage ne rates ne ɛkɔ soro na yɛbɛhwɛ ne nyinaa wɔ ha ne ansa ne nyinaa nti no yɛtwa ho baako pɛ bi aba na yɛba this time deɛ na yɛde hyɛ so no no nti no twɛn na yɛba sisi a sikasɛm ampa lumba no kaeɛ si yɛanhwɛ sikasɛm yi a yɛ mpanyinfoɔ so na yɛbɛyɛ nkoraa nti mohwɛ sikasɛm yi yo ɛnɛ the topic ne ɛyɛ home it's about home buying home buying no sɛ ɛde nsɛm bebree nenam ɛhwɛ sɛ ne situation si kɔ a ɛde nsɛm bebree nenam home buying yɛhwɛ kakra a yɛwɔ ne yɛnka mfa ho sɛ these days we will be if you know WhatsApp we will be able follow nneɛma your friends saying wo social media na follow nneɛma bebree a ɛm sɛ yɛ follow kakra yɛ asɛ yɛasom ayɛ kyan bebree ɛfa your friend saying when it call Twitter as you see your friend X we call TikTok just sɛ baabi a bɛfa biara no ɛyɛ real estate ho asɛm ne yɛka na yɛka fa mortgages ɛne saa nneɛma no nti no asɛ ɛyɛ biribi bi a ongoing na ɛka na ɛba interest rate na ɛnam fufuo ne adeɛ nyinaa ɛka fa ho sɛ interest rate ɛwɔ soro interest rate a yɛsɛ interest rate sɛ wote saa asɛm no ɛyɛ ampa interest rate akɔ soro akyɛ kakra wohwɛ a ɛfiri 2022 January all the way up to as a emphasis last month, which is October 2023. No, interest rate ɛkɔ soro ɛma that speed na ɛde kɔɛ no na ɛshɔkie anaasɛ ɛkyingyi lives bebree yɛ a na yɛwɔ plans sɛ bi a yɛbɛyɛ biribi bi nhwɛwohwɛ koraa na ɛnyɛ ayi nko a house nko a gye sɛ ne house ne yɛbɛtɔke interest rate no kɔ soro ma nneɛma bebree nti no sɛ wayɛ biribi sɛ ebi a wɔresave na wopɛ sɛ obi anka wotɔ dan na interest rate ne kɔ so a asɛ wadwene ayɛ mmienu nhyɛ dɛ nhu deɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ anaasɛ deɛ na ɛkɔ so yi deɛ na mɛyɛ wowɔ questions bebree a yɛnhwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ so ne nyinaa yɛnyɛ mpɛnsɛmu ne yɛhu sɛ ne ɛsi teɛ sɛ yɛbɛtumi make good decision if yɛayɛ yɛ adwene sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkɔtɔ fi ɛbɛtumi aboa yɛ nti yɛnhwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ first yi ne sɛ should I buy a home now or wait into fie sisi anaasɛ yɛntwɛn should I buy a home or wait mɛka sɛ yes with a big question mark yes with a big question mark also wotɔ fie if financially you're ready wowɔ question biara ɛfa topic yi ho a wobɛtumi de ato chat box mu wode tom a yɛbɛyɛ nsa ama wo anaasɛ wɔ question biara ɛfa any financial questions wode ba wobɛtumi ansa ama when it comes to home buying adeɛ baako a wɔsie ho ne sɛ anaasɛ ɛma no yɛ Richie sɛ ebi apɛ sɛ ɔkasa a woma me yɛ aware a I will bring you in right when I say Richie wɔ so pɛ sɛ ɔkasa a I'll bring you in a few people so also pɛ sɛ ɔkasa a wobɛtumi de ato chat box ma na biribi saa I can help you come in and wobɛtumi ayɛ question no ho adwuma ama all right so one thing I was here yɛto ɛdan a ɛni sɛ stop you from buying a house one prices of house going up and two interest rates those are some of the things yeah na so difficult sɛ wobɛbase on that alone sɛ wode bɛtwɛn anaasɛ womfa ntwɛn as sɛ yɛhwɛ saa rate na yɛwɔ mu no a anaasɛ yɛhwɛ sɛ time yɛ a yɛwɔ mu no a those things no bebree kɔ so wɔ mu a ɛnyɛ biribi a yɛmu bebree hɔ nom a ɛboa yɛn interest rate no obi sɛ mentwɛn na interest rate nkɔ fam anaa ansa no matɔ fie anaa interest rate ɛyɛ Federal Reserve ɛna ma interest rate ɔmo na ɛma no kɔ soro anaasɛ ɔmo na ɛma no ba fam yɛmu bebree hɔ nom a yɛni controls nyɛ sɛ yɛmu bebree a obi ani control ɛfa Fed ho na Fed so before some raise interest rate anaasɛ ɔmo bɛte so no ɔmo hwɛ the way economy ne sɛ kɔ ansa na ɔmo atumi raise interest rate anaasɛ ɔmo alowa no nti you sɛ wode wadwene nyinaa ne sɛ wode twɛn sɛ interest rate bɛkɔ so anaa ɛbɛkɔ fam no ansa na wato fie no ɛnyɛ good idea and then because predictions when it comes to interest rate so hard so wobɛtumi apredict sometimes amafo ntumi hwɛ nneɛma yɛno mu sɛ ne siteɛ na experts ne bi ne yɛtumi hwɛ ne apredict but because the Fed based on the economy the way the economy is going and sa no wobɛtumi ayɛ interest rate ne ade no nti yɛmfa sɛ ɔmo yɛ prediction now this man yɛ prediction sɛ bi a beginning of next year interest rate bɛkɔ fam sɛ this month and then next month sɛ economy no ɛyɛ biribi kakra bi a saa predictions na ɛma so it is based on the economy and ɔmode yɛ saa nneɛma I know say usually no it take time and sa na ɔmo ayɛ but bi ɔmo decide but bi na within so bi a unemployment akɔ soro na kɔ bi ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo raise anaasɛ ɔmo te so na bi a 2 months yi November and December now all unemployment spike higher it can make them whatever predictions na if you say be an name kɔ yi nti betumi ayɛ no it usually we don't want to base on interest rate say no better than anaasɛ yɛmfa nto dan number 2 adeɛ baako yi nim sɛ house prices ɛkɔ soro and the predictions no yɛ na ɛyɛ kakra wɔ ho house prices yɛ biribi a ɛma fam nim sɛ mmerɛ bi atwa mu nneɛma bebree sisi ɛma house prices ɛba fam usually saa nneɛma no entire happen as a recently yɛmfa sɛ 2002 2001 sorry 2021 2022 adeɛ bi si saa nneɛma no entire si sɛ cars na afei used cars ɛkɔ soro usually saa nneɛma no entire si because usually nneɛma that goes down in value no ɛyɛ biribi bi a ɛntaa ɛnkɔ soro, because the price no your friend say car yɛ biribi bi a ɛkɔ fam. See, because of circumstances bi biribi sei no ahwɛ a ebi nsi koraa da biem. Pacho Richie, the question be about I say, if I buy a house now, how long will it take me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rate and high house price? Tini I say Ricky, so just what to face see at time in a bit dry, maybe a bit break even. I can a bit break even or by your friend saying, and I say, fan say equity a baso ama the interest rate na wotua no ɛne price na ɛkɔ soro no time na ɛbɛtumi ama atumi level a wɔhu sɛ asɛ mewɔ biribi wɔ m'account mewɔ biribi ɛda m'akyi equity atumi aba so yie na asɛ tɔ a metɔɛ no ankɔyɛ sɛ me ho akɔdim bebree biribi saa na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ. If I buy a house now, how long will it take me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rates and high house prices? Yo, Rich Beba who see mame nye ayi kakra bi. Yo, and thanks for your contribution too. Mame finish it no. Should I buy a home now or wait? No, me wia me ba question so. Yeah, share say committee me credit at na ye ho. Yo, eti ade e hu no say house prices there e bibi e cost all the time. Barely do we see say house prices e kofo. You say people will hold more to silence or more train say be a house price never form because of nyama bi see the other time my house prices call form no it you know it be a BBC BTS. Those things no usually don't happen. Usually no and nyama intense cra it you know so what say oh train house prices above form ɛbɛyɛ den sɛ ɛbɛba fam. Ebi a wɔ area depending on the area wɔwɔ wɔhu move bi sɛ first naka in fact 2022 2021 na beginning of 2023 na price ne kɔ so na afei wotim sɛ all of a sudden agyae ebi aba fam kakraa bi nti no so ebi a metwɛn na aba. The reason ebi a wohu sɛ ebi a drop kakraa no ɛnkyerɛ sɛ price ne ba fam. Na mmom deɛ ɛyɛyɛ ne sɛ time a 2001 2002 na a friend saying shortage of houses near the amount for try so more to fee no houses no call prices be were way up than the actual price I was saying houses no call and so we say price never for my air correcting about the price I was saying and who say not just say a coffee or say a call too much and about the right place no hey no crano stop nothing I say move steadily. When we look at houses barely in a houses ever for. It is a old tranche say may train na house about for my son matubia a bibia bit me how because one thing they meet me I guarantee you this and I say predictions right they say houses usually a muffle barely any who say a back for bit me actually if you cry from that period na happy you know all the way ABCC kono just win a Kobe 22 year usually about 4-5% year we cost that every year you know train for data no see be a mistake na mum de bia betimi say obetimi ato na wa avoid price no be cost more na emum say ba form a bia obetimi ayeden a refinance. Another thing I be obetimi ayen say because ye nyen say a year 2 years a year ago no the we na house na see kono nti na ayɛ so much sɛ ɛyɛ a sellers market nti no dan baako na nipa bɛyɛ 30-40 akɔ akɔgu so ɔmo kɔgu so a afei deɛ ɛkɔyɛ ne sɛ dan anka wotɔ a ɛwɔ sɛ ɔyɛ inspection ɛwɔ sɛ ɔyɛ wei ɛwɔ sɛ ɔyɛ nneɛma wocheck nneɛma no nyinaa no because nipa bebree aba ne nti no ɔmo tumi ka sɛ yɛ wotwerɛw wode wɔ application no tum for house na wo contract tum a wo a wode also pɛ sɛ ɔcheck inspection pɛ sɛ ɔcheck ne ɛyi afiri na amanfoɔ were going insane they were doing so many things ɛwɔ houses so na it was so insane amanfoɔ tumi tɔ house a ɔmo ncheck anything no inspection no nothing by mo say ne deɛ akɔyɛ ne sɛ saa de no afiri hɔ nti this is the time because interest rate kɔ so nipa bebree slow down nti now what time a wobɛtumi kora ɛtɔ house na abɛhwɛ ne yie nti no ɛyɛ w'adwene sɛ bi a train for house price sɛ bɛkɔ fam a ɛno deɛ I can guarantee you sɛ ɛnyɛ adeɛ bɛkɔ fam. Another thing is say interest rate no so ɛyɛ bi a predictions no ɛyɛ hard to predict na mmom so wayɛ ready a sɛ ɔtɔ house a ɛna ɛtumi ama ɔtɔ Yo, me fifi or question bi na bibisa na say opese obema metimi am wabem opese okasa opese yi ya metimi du abem I can add you. Nti mame hu say opese obema just send me a text and I say your friend say put on the chat say be opese obem. Rich still opese obema but yen hwe na e be hwe question is here. Nti no high interest rate no bibi a ekosoma amanfo slow down e wo dan no. This almost slow down. Now is the time. The price is not go from, but now is the time. Ubitimi akwa, ubitimi do diligent about so to few, but to what you now waiting to the pay. A year and a half, 2 years ago, no, that would be any sad time, no, would be any over Tommy Fear, me time on your side, because would be about no best what say, on the own we say it's 100,000, maybe 100,000 at the bus street. Yeah. See a tin chain pass yeah, tin chain near Kwakoto, a train, no interest rate akɔ from at the same time. So yeah, train I'm a houses at a price na from there and yeah, Juma, I mean, yes, sure. Memo, we are financially prepared. I will say this all train for side, you know. Make a be mema interest rate, house price, cost through, and I buff. We are well prepared. That's the only way wobɛtumi de atɔ dan nti yɛnkɔ ne yɛhwɛ nneɛma a ɛdi so before then no yɛ question bi wɔ ha question no kyerɛ sɛ ɔse yɛnyɛ dɛ if I want to buy a house now, if I buy a house now, how long will it take for me to either break even or build an equity in the current mortgage condition with high interest rates and high house prices? Very good question. A very good question. Yɛhwɛ ɔse sɛ ɔtɔ fie sisi time bɛn na ɔde bɛ break even abra dan no anaasɛ time bɛn na equity bi bɛba mu ama asɛ ne ho nkɔdi mu kɛse at least ɔwɔ in between ɔno a ne ho ndi mu kɛse ɔno so a nkɔɔ so bebree a wɔwɔ mu with the condition yɛ wɔ mu no yɛnim sɛ price of house kɔ soro ɔno koraa de obesi more price kɔ soro na afei so no interest rate no so kɔ soro no the mechanism say one, it's going to be so hard for this we with me I predicted this and let me explain. One, na me can see as interest rate no BBB ultimate control. Nipa de BBB you have to control the controllables. The things how between control now control. Interest rate any BBB between control. So we shema when you say the rate or more chance interest no ko shema averagely no we pana interest rate in our American no baby was say Ushima Ushepa will go back into the history now start to share. Housing interest rate is always around the 6 up to the 8. Hey, sir. Mini Alex, opeso can episode ma obema meeting am wabem. Just mame chat and abi bisa because so crowd me here. You know, it's meeting am chat am. Opeso obema menya wabem. Yo, enti wontimi based on that and find the equity na a bedru sese no ene saa nneɛma no nyinaa the equity near the only control so sɛ ɛbɛkɔ soro ɛnkɔ fam nyinaa ɛyɛ biribi a wontimi based on just that ɛmfa nyɛ because wontimi control and to be able to know say time bɛ na bɛduru that equilibrium na bɛma yɛfa sɛ what that situation na a level up no is going to be tough. But dan adeɛ baako anim sɛ dan deɛ time biara no ɛkɔ soro at least ɛkɔ kakra ɛnyɛ the rate and ɛkɔ 2 years and a year ago no that was abnormal. That was circumstances be a war COVID ne saa nneɛma ne maa no yɛɛ but ɛnim sɛ at least wotɔ dan a gradually no ɛkɔ soro kakra at least wobɛ 4% bi a year ne saa nneɛma no deɛ wobɛnya ebi a year bi wɔ no ma ɛtumi kɔ soro ebi a ɛtumi yɛ more na ayɛ but whatever happened a year 2 years ago it was insane. Usually those things doesn't happen. And to your question, it's a good question, but to be able to predict, it's going to be tough. If you're going to base on just the house, no the emphasis the prices of the house, no to do that, maybe you might want to say, Also the question be about see you bought your first home with 5% and you want to upsize it. It's really prudent to sell your first house and use the equity to buy the bigger house with a current rate of 8%. You ever heard maybe you were first one now, kind of. Yo, it's so hard say based on that, based on those things because a you can control, but we know steadily, house prices are cost through. Um, based on whatever is going to happen the next quarter and so on, maybe how our prices a bit your friends say rate a bit cost through and I say before because for all we know I'm out for predict say maybe a better form because usually in the way economy is recession nyama be a team rate no cost through and I say inflation this animal yeah intense more than 2 years within a year 18 months equal 2 years no and you to stabilize it is also the history now at that time no it be na started since animal na ema interest rate cost no ma fed raise interest rate no so na etimi normalize ya usually no they start bringing it down a little bit. That's the prediction I'm out for. But what about if BB happened the last quarter year? It may change money stay, maybe stay and now see between depending on the situation. It's going to be tough for this question. Say, me be on one side. I we. Say, buying a house no shouldn't be say time being almost say house a investment at the same time now even though most of houses no a residency you use to so we near no because could your friends and rent bet me between BB into issue house I a good idea say was all rent it for your own tiana a good say be a better it then based on that alone say anything be a time need to be break even and it was a house and I say into house it's going to be tough for you to buy. No, say auto house now. By the next 4 or 5 years, at least will be near critical also. I don't know how the interest rate is going to be. I mean, unless will be careful. Like my chat so I can put you in here. The next question was I'll say if you bought a first home 5% and you want to upsize, like it's really prudent to sell your first home house and use the equity to buy the biggest house with a current rate of 8%. Yo, let's see. Another question, just say what fee it be emphasis what fee 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Now interest rate in 5%. Let me build the equity kakra fine. It be a fee at toy. I mean, maybe I can say usually to fee tono at the time I want so. I will say you will go and you say will be go. You can always go up when you want a house. Into say be a house I'm a pen, maybe a 500,000. That's it at this time. Home base 300,000. A good semester 300,000. 2, 3 years now still me working on house need to be cost then na matimi aton em say you let's person bro person na hello
Yeah, my trying.
Okay yo kasa
Good. You've said all
yo
the good things earlier on. So when it comes to purchasing a home, you need to ask yourself some basic questions, right?
mm-hmm.
One, what is the reason why I'm buying this home? If you're able to, everything that you are going to do, you have to ask yourself why. If you're able to answer the question why, that will be the foundation for which whether to buy or not to buy, right? And what is my objective here? Am I buying, say, okay, if you are metrum, and answer, am I just going in as a speculator, which is for investment, right? So in this current market now, if the truth is, if you are just going in as a somebody who is just going in and out to make money in and out, this is not a market for you. You have to be patient in that there's so much volatility going on. Things are going up and down.
yo maybe
But it's
kasa
okay.
say if you're going in and out and no
Right. So obo on man, now you say, oh, make cotton, just like the earlier question, like, oh, make cotton, 2 years, I've heard say equity. Abem to make one
Okay.
right? So if you go in with that mentality, then you have to really think about it. But if you are going, oh, me to fiat to them, just like you said, now you give yourself at least 5 years, right? 5 years, you at least you pay down your loan enough, so you build equity. And in addition to that, as well, you are with time now home appreciates. And I like the fact that you said, say, other than the artificial appreciation we had 2019 and 2020, which was it was artificial inflation of values. Typically, as you indicated, home usually grow between 3 to 6% annually, depending on your zip code. There can be even in a normal market, some zip code don't even grow at all. It's just
That's
flat
right.
market.
Yep.
Flat market. Home no, it's not going to go up. It's not going to come down, right?
Yep.
In the same vein, you see some zip code growing 5%, 6%.
Yep.
So real estate is all about location, 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 and market. And
Okay.
so timing a market is very, very difficult. And one of the things everybody need to understand is that if not recent years, home prices have gone up, lower interest rates and high prices don't go together. Now, as you and I are talking now, prices have slowed down. Why?
Correct.
What Fed is doing has already kicked in.
Uh-huh.
I'm building a new construction for somebody. I visited a community, and the price that somebody purchased when rate was down early last year,
hmm
the builder is selling it for almost 40,000 less. Why?
Okay.
Because of the higher interest rate now. They are cutting back prices to lure customers. Secondly, when this my client was building early last year, they only gave what $7,500 in closing costs.
Uh-huh.
When I took a client there recently, they are giving a whopping $25,000.
Hey, and it was here,
That
Baho.
means they are paying for all the closing costs. They are paying for money that you can use to buy down rate.
Uh-huh.
So just like you are saying now, if you go home, just have to give yourself some time and just be patient. Eventually, you're going to
Uh-huh.
get there. Home doesn't up, it doesn't go down forever. So just you can afford and know you said this is what I intend to do. Then the other evil is to continue to rent and say you are timing, and that timing will never come. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Your fan say there's another chat here. Okay. I remember me finding rain. He said Richie so per se on also to me a chipping. Richie chipping Medwaba.
Hello, senior.
Yeah.
We have very good submission by Ada. I think say
Uh-huh.
Wakani that the hope me I read somewhere
Uh-huh.
and they also indicated say the goal no is it a short term or long term goal
That is
because
right.
they indicated say
Uh-huh.
auto if you now especially if you have a long term goal it's gonna take like 15 years before you can either break even or build an equity. And like Eda said, it depends on the location of the building and so can maybe able to feel maybe one
Yes.
a check and sign a building equity. It is our
Yes.
money we need to factor it into it to his point of whether you are investor and also what also counts in because we're investor now one who sick up in the short time now go a short time one who can be lucky because it might take some time and sign what build equity so I have said that can in anti and one no Yamisha
Yo.
Damas.
Yo, Mr. Kakra meka afa ho no say share when it comes to those things now no very very good. Said the other kind of the chat no. Okay, baby. Na ho na manfo enhye na mfa no very serious. What it is will be on or rent it or tena sidelines. Oh, if you kosro, interest rate kosro, not the time it, or the time it. As okay, also thank you. Wait now watch it. One, if you be at said the kind, no share mmerɛ atwam a saa nneɛma no siiɛ no akyɛ kakra ɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɛtaa si saa kakra meka support elder deɛ no wɔ ha m sɛ meka kakra fa ho wohwɛ baabi a ɔde obi kɔɔyɛ na now is 20,000 less no most of the year happening ne sɛ the kind that price that time that price no cost the actual prices was less than what the price are normal and because of the demand and some circumstances be na ekosunti na ma ne basa. Even though that's coin or the be now na so about 20,000. That doesn't mean say home prices are above for more. The when say correcting itself about the actual price now was we be currently correcting draw. You know, need also depend on the location, the area, and all that. I thought that I was here factors now, and the emphasis the topic and said should we wait? You know, mostly, you know, and to say they make say why you ready? What to when you're saying and I'm baby boss say obi say why you ready? Why you ready saying the readiness and one. This is how me say we are ready. And I say in say your ways be brama footing the top down a be a bit in the drew baby pebi and I say obekwa kwatena then more right. But it was some few things we have say we are it me wow Emma we are peaceful mind. A dying a bibia kakra mekan say dying a bibia a bit me aboying. I would say it should be a blessing. It shouldn't be but one ton 120 year bit me a case. It's whereby say me make us why you ready no any. The reason how me make us obey ready no one. Why you who can you na free said me kind no there are some programs we on ma ebu a bit me a yi kan na ebu a student loan mo ma wonyi free ho ne sa ne ma no. Ba utimi yi who can you na free ho a ebuawo eno e kire say at least you know wo to dan a bitimi aboa ama nema toto ye bra wo ho nkyerɛ because wo tua mortgage now say yi sika free wo tua other bills usually ne ana we can easy number one number two yɛnhwɛ bibi sɛ wo emergency fund aho see na start ye na especially yɛmu bebree hɔ no ma yɛba yɛ kɔrɛnti baabi ada sɛ ɔrɛnti obi fie anaasɛ ɔrɛnti apartment ansa yɛkae sɛ saa time no sɛ woba na sɛ yɛfrɛ sɛ even yi koraa yɛfrɛ sɛ the toilet koraa na aklɔte tap ma wei ma ne wei a wofa phone ano afrɛ sɛ dan wura anaasɛ apartment yɛfrɛ sɛ apartment office no ma ba bɛyɛ ama ho wonya tɔ dan a saa de no is off saa nneɛma nyinaa no ɛyɛ wo ka wo na wo sɛ wo take care of saa nneɛma no nyinaa nti no wonya tɔ dan a saa nneɛma no change nti wotɔ dan na woni sika da wɔakyi a ɛnim sɛ te sɛ deɛ meka no we have ways a wobɛtumi atɔ dan bi emergency fund yɛ na wokɔtɔ dan koraa na bank no pɛ sɛ ɔmo ho sɛ bia wo sika kakra wɔ hɔ yɛbɛtumi akɔgye obi deɛ bi ayɛ way bi yɛbɛtumi bi ahyɛ mu ne saa nneɛma no ɛnyɛ waa wo deɛ a at that point no will bring it a very very headache to yourself because matɔ awie ma yɛ biribi awie yɛnyinaa so nim sɛ maybe apart from be a new house ɛna bi a bibi ɛma ho ɛno koraa no bibi tumi ba esi nya atɔ a watɔ awie the only thing is bi no na bi na nneɛma na ɛbɛwɔ ho no ebi still no the friend saying ɛbɛka sɛ warranty ne saa nneɛma no ebi wɔ hɔ a bɛtumi ayi ɛti no make sure sɛ obi da yɛkyi ɛnyɛ no nko a enim sɛ wohwɛ mu a nneɛma bebree a yɛtaa tɔ paa ne bo ɔden ɛyɛ house nti yɛ payment free ɛho kɔ no baabi a deɛ na emu edu paa no most of the time no ɛyɛ house nti wo pay ɛba wɔ hɔ na bebree kɔ a na house gye bebree na wonni bibi da wɔakyi a apart from sɛ bi a house no kora bibi si bi na wɔ sɛ ɔkɔyɛ a wotumi sɛ yɛ ana ɛden ɛno yɛ number 2 number 3 sɛ ɔwɔ sizable down payment sizable down payment no you say 3% betimi aget you into your brother free betimi aka kyerɛw bra me de wesa bam bi hanging mame say you say 3% betimi ama dan right you say your friend say 3% betimi ama dan but at least wo kakra ɛyɛ ɛboa last time I knew obi ka wo say the down payment say na metua me de to hɔ ɛyɛ am say me the down payment come say 100% bobo 100 ekofa no he to dan 300,000 400,000 be dey tua ni na ya na edin It's udi kakra to honoma. Na then I bit me no so bit me monthly mortgage aba form. So bit me avoid the PMI. PMI no ade ba kwa ya PMI ho tua kra. It doesn't help you. And it doesn't do anything to you. It helps the lender. Hey, ABB and Kebu Akradi different. It helps the lender. Into the fair near EB and can be and foul. Say now to us, can I brought it me out for a day. It's Nipa will hold 20%, so bit me. And also just say, but now 4, 6, 7 years, send me this 20%, Namedi Aquaque, and also a new good idea. It's not to be a mechanic say, me thought that be a dime 500,000. Now say at this point, the home so 300. That's a 300 meet me to 20%. Me to me 20%. Now matter me 300. You can there's no law just say won't me move up our house. No. Say nyame ha dom na niam to 2 year. Let me say move up our house no. Meet me akwa to me 500 at that time. Maybe as at na ko be 600. Let me build equity kakra wa ha. Na me jai because me focus na say sa bia sa we na pese me duru. It always bit me move up. So it's now class me train class I had say maybe a minimum 20% more with PM and me could house idea yet. Into your sizable one a bit more because the man who say you share contract in nana. So 3% contract no. Most time they are not clauses no any upfront fees na too much. Very too much. We share clause a yan yet by a bit me get you into a house. But we share other difference contracts now, mortgage contracts in the be on my free 5% take on ya then at least to me 5, 10 year edition my year. It's number one. Say fancy are you ready no year one because we are not going to base on just the interest rate and the just prices going up and the all. We have to use wisdom though by in there was making sure say oh turn us why you're ready, why you're ready. We'll check all these boxes now. The last one we'll make sure say a mortgage payment a month no any more than 25% of your take-home pay. And saying say maybe 10,000 a year, or say making sure say my mortgage interest your friend saying homeowners no say we do be it me define a different bit because just the mortgage homeowners near the income media to me if you say say money now 25% and 10,000 or say say money to take about 2,500. Say take it 2,500. In the say if the mortgage for the month, me 25% of my take home pay ATSS can set down cost through, say interest rate cost through, that's a bit me here. When you say yes, I'm paying more interest rate, I'm paying more for the house. Still not affecting me. I mean, to me, never be a bit still not affecting me because intimately, never be also me financially because near dying in Kwana. Your finance mu be up so this got to man more man for college grew up so ye be fufuro be other financial issues e wo hono me no kwa we say this got to home e daache it yes scan na kudi dem sa na any friends na esa na no house poor no it focus no should be say you ready rather than say you share the interest rate no the price of the house na cost no kwa I will see who say send me kind we use wisdom at the same time no you're ready than that. I mean say that so RDBB also Roger champions also RDBB or her way so I make commitment to us.
Yeah, so on the interest rate now you said now. I think
Uh-huh.
I always use this analogy said
Uh-huh.
you get married to your home and you date your interest rate.
Uh-huh.
In that historically anybody can Google it. When they started originating interest rate in the 70s,
Uh-huh.
it started 18%.
Yeah.
Right.
In the 80s, no cry. I think it was all the way 14%.
Right. So
16. Some of were buying houses too.
when they started originally was 18%.
That's right.
One was you said, oh yeah, you said 18%, but
Mm-hmm.
people home prices were low. Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
But at that point also no, you realize that income has quadrupled since then, right?
That is right. That
And
is right.
in today's market, when somebody is paying $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
in those days probably somebody was making $20,000,
Yeah.
right? So everything has gone up steadily.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that, especially most of us who were paying attention to the news from COVID years, to come from 2.25,
Mhm.
and now times 3, and sometimes depending on your credit times 4.
Right. Uh-huh.
I know it's heart wrenching,
Yep.
but
Yep.
the hope is, like you said early, you buy something that you can manage it. Rate is not going to stay
Mhm.
this forever.
That's right.
There even just the job report we had last week,
Uh-huh.
interest rate has improved drastically.
Yep.
Two
Yep.
weeks ago, you'll be looking at 8%, but as we speak, I'm locking people in 7.5 and even under,
And
because
okay.
the market has just improved drastically just last week.
Hmm.
So all that I'm trying to say is that you prepare yourself, just like you are saying, get a home you love.
Yep.
Ah, Uber, so I like the place. But 2 years from now, 3 years from now, rate will be looking close to 5% or lower five. At that
Uh-huh.
point, you'll be able to refinance it. You can shave off 200, 300, 400, 500, even $1,000, depending on the size of your home. So
Mm.
it is very important. And one of the things I just want to chip in quickly is on the down payment aspect, right?
Mhm.
Any that thing that you buying like a first time buyer, you got down 3% on conventional. Your interest rate with somebody who is putting 20%, if you have the same credit scores, it doesn't matter. It is a rate driven based on your credit scores. What matter with the down payment, versus okay, will be the 10% versus all the three. Yes, the mortgage insurance, you see the difference because the more you are able to bring to the table, the less your mortgage insurance premium is calculated, especially on conventional loans. Three things drive your mortgage insurance on conventional if you don't have 20, which is one, your credit score, two, your DTI, right?
Mhm.
And the loan value, whether it's higher balance or how do you call it, a jumbo loan or another
Jumbo loan.
normal conventional loan.
Mm.
So in terms of the credit scores in there, if you bring 3%, or we bring it 10%, so far as you have the same credit score, they give you the interest rate the same, but the mortgage insurance premium,
Premium.
the higher your down payment and the higher your credit score, the lower it is. But when you bring it to FHA loan, FHA is flat. Whether you have whatever,
You pay
it's always
PMI.
point 55 MI. However, if you also are able to bring a little bit of down payment, then it begin to make a difference with FHA loan. Then it goes down, especially when you can bring 10%. If somebody bring 10% to FHA instead of mortgage insurance being 0.55, it drop you to 0.44. So that is one of the areas that usually affect lower down payment. But on 100% is no. Um, the whole time I've been practicing, if you come to me and especially our first time, but oh Alex, our first Obi so two of you and five and trust you free. Me say no. There's no free thing in America.
Hold on. Yeah, one can you say 100%? You mean no money down?
No money down.
Uh-huh. Because okay,
Anybody
100% say why they got to 100%? It's like I'll be so
right.
money quick.
So anybody that comes to me in particular, I would
Uh-huh.
advise us to know 100% is not a good investment because if we be the 3% back, next year money 7.5 by 100%, automatically the lender need to charge you a half or quarter of a point. Why? Or no more 400,000. Your scheme is not in the game,
Yeah.
and they have to punish you so that if something happen, they know say, okay, we've recouped some of our money, and so there's hope. Save 3%, and most especially if you are first-time buyers, there are programs, tons of programs as we speak. Every day I'm discovering new programs. Ah, you can only bring 1%, or even if you have down payment, you can bring your money, and depending on your income, you can see also get this free money that you can add up to it. Even some of them up to a tune of 17,500 that you don't have to pay. It's not rate sensitive, all depending on your income and then your whether you are first time. And the first time by definition, now quickly is defined in America. Say, Obia, you've not owned a home in the past 3 years. So if you had a home, you've sold it, and 3 years has come, you are saying consider a first timer, and you'll be able to take advantage of this program. I yield. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, folks, me catch them say you drew house at Alex and say your brother Kuni Anthony Kaba, Omoye, Grophobia, Ombitia Boy. Draw if we are member the information. Am I not? I'm out for make a team touch. I'm out for a test me say. Yeah. Anyway, so said the canon. Usually no being ready no that chance say you be train na actually no I say based on a yinko an the ends as yet to ade no as the old timing market no and you good house is say be form pa the interest rate in the say be a bit me form about so na form about so depending on the economy, depending on the fed no and no ultimately any control so depending on the economy example and I can say within you try a job reports for the past 3 months no if any my question predictions ever say there ever perform but say BBC see the last 2 quarters here a bit me as change no yeah it in your abutre into your book near steady now at the same time no you prepare na yeah may baby and here make a see putting something on the skin on the game no you know say sɛdeɛ ɔkaeɛ no ɔno koraa ɔpɛ ɛno na ɔdedidi o nso ɔsɛ ɔba no aka kyerɛ sɛ memfa biribi anto aseɛ koraa no a ɔntwi mfa so ma wo nkɔ ɔbɛka sɛ still fa biribi to hɔ no korakora saa deɛ nyɛ because ɔpɛ sɛ at least no ɔtɔ dan no na ɛbɛboa wo na wo so ɔtumi at least wɔ equity kra kakra wɔ mu to start off no koraa wɔ equity kakra wɔ mu a ɛyɛ ada nyɛ bad nyɛ sɛ nyɛ bi a ɛno na gidigidi yɛde hwehwɛ deɛ but at least te sɛ nneɛma atotɔ yie ɔmo wɔ mu ɔmo nim nneɛma a ɔbɛyɛ a ɛbɛtumi aboa ama ɛnkɔyɛ gidigidi bebree anaasɛ ɛma bia na wontɔ de bia no emu bebree ha yɛtɔ dan wohwɛ sɛ ne yɛtɔ dan no a yɛntɔ no the right way nti biwie no na obi kan yɛ sɛ ɛyɛ house poor adeɛ yɛ paa yɛ house poor wotumi tua o mortgage ɛyɛ biribi awie na wowie adeɛ aka wontumi wonya bi koraa nyɛ hwee ɛnyɛ good practice you can always buy what your strength is at that time na wɔtumi akɔ soro wobɛtumi akɔ soro there's no law bi a ɛkyerɛ sɛ wontumi ɛtɔ dan a wontumi nkɔ soro wobɛtumi akɔ soro time apɛ biara bi wɔ koraa depending on your what kind of mortgage awɔ bi wɔ koraa na clauses nim sɛ bebree hɔ no ayɛ na ɛbɛyɛ 3 years ne ade wotɔn fie no a ɛwɔ sɛ wonya saa ansa na clauses ne ade no bi a nte saa wotumi wohwɛ wo contract a mayɛ borɔ ɛm sɛ yɛbɛkɔ break yɛba a yɛbɛka ayi ho asɛm kakra ba mewɔ biribi fa interest rate no ho nti no mo hold on ne yɛntwɛn ho mmra yɛba a yɛba bɛfa ne atoa so afiri hɔ no You're here for Yababium, your boy Patrik Barfi, High Life Radio and OTA. Sikasam na yede brono. The be can say we Juma kama sikaba na unhu share ha na every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. na yemfa nhyehyɛ so yɛ sikasam ho adwuma bebree ha. Make sure say you answer questions bebree enye na dan ho asɛm na yɛka. But be far from anything especially personal finance no yɛka ho asɛm wɔ ha no. And then you say yɛsua deɛ so also wɔ kakra otimi de boa na yɛn nyinaa ayɛ fɛfɛɛfɛ. Ne a few questions bi wɔ mu nti yɛde bɛba na afei yɛwa yɛ friend saying Fifi Richie your friend saying bro Champon hey minua and then me hyia wakyɛ power and then deɛ Masate uka enua kwabra so ene waba otama me tough time wɔ ha paa ya otade one me de be presu gidigidi wɔ ha no na say deɛ me tell ka kyɛ kwabra welcome yo em say naka ye twaso em say ye the next one I mean say ye ready no but enua bi at the question bi aba ti yenhwɛ se be ho adwuma abro memo akɔ first or say yo, what's he saying? What is the best advice for first time buyers? I'm saying no one sem na near kikana. Iti bro Alex say oh hope so kwa obetumi akọ. What's the first best advice? Yo, I'm so nuni ho. Yo, best advice kakra me want to say you share a dine to you know a very I'm say me free. Bro. Oh. Okay. Yo. Yenua obisa say advice ben what the best advice I ma first timer be first timer or to fee first time yo you mu bibra ya prepare ho to fee first timer me can say you mu bibra ya prepare ho to fee. Number one, they also say we shouldn't base just on interest rates buying a home. Interest rates buying a home, and I say share the price na cost no near because we want more share the rate price no cost no did rika honso kra na no kwakoto that's adeba kwa wasi hwe ho asem kan yi pa and two said the in your kind so why ready especially where yi nyama bebre e ka bebre free ho a ya na eboa because tua dan ka emu edu said they can go on ma ebi ya rent ebi kra na ye rent no kra no ye obi na esa rent he 1,000 credit to 500 now all of a sudden from that time to 2,000 straight no yeah na do I mind blowing it just all of a sudden we have to scrap to most scrap union na na eko into other payment it me yaro it me ma was just never change all of a sudden it was a change situation or you have to be ready for all those things no and making sure say will be that wachi and the nya papa because ya rent ya che ya yemfa che say bibi ebesi bia ye frɛ ne aba be ye frɛ ne aba be ye ntwa hwe wo ho na all of a sudden wa koto dan na within 2 months na start issue to na starting you know change you bibia tunis card at that point no was why frustrated and a down payment no at least sizable the kakra ma we me make sure say ha nipa bibia ita afili wa ha obi na kan and I say you should be a saying or say the thinking of the poor and the thinking of the richer. The poor people know how much do I pay a month? Oh, no, actually, no. But poor people, how much is the whole thing? Rich people, how much is the whole thing? You know, poor people, the address send a meeting at chair, but some send me chair. The other born class in the city and dream. Oh, send your friend saying, the monthly pay is saying, or share monthly pay 4,000. Also the 8,000, but when I say we craft 4,000, but your calculations now we say, yeah, no, when you be drop it to your account. It's in making sure say home buying the rule of thumb they say to make sure say the 25% of your take home pay and they call mortgage so with me other things financially it's not a crime account men pray
Okay.
it's a dynamic koso bro
Yes, so you said it right, and sorry, me driving as an interjet. So one of the things also we want to consider is making sure that you put your credit scores in order. Because I've heard people say, oh, Obi Krasa, oh, 580 can buy me a home. Yes, it's true. But at what cost it is to you? And so it's very important. So one, you work on your credit scores, credit scores. On FHA loan, which is the government loan, the normal credit score that they require is 620. However, anything under 620 can get it done for you, but you'll be punished for getting under 620 credit scores. And also that one also requires you to bring a hefty down payment, which is 10%, right? So if you want to be safer, at least make sure say on FHA now, you are shooting for 620. Conventional loans, yeah, people will say even 640 can do it, 660. No. I always say if you want to target conventional, make sure your credit scores are going to 700 or better. And so let's educate ourselves as first time buyers, second time, making sure our credit scores are good. Make sure if you are first time buyer, like Nana said, not necessarily paying all your debt, but you need to make sure that you are not overusing your credit card. The term of the rule is credit card or your overall credit line, you cannot exceed 30%. And the first say be a Thanksgiving, but now my best buy credit card. Number 10,000, number 6,000. I can assure you, say, oh, check your creditor, 50 point is going to disappear instantly. And so when you are no Mr. You make sure say oh Kwakutofia as a first time buyer, and then you make sure say you don't overspend your credit card. Two, if you are going to co-sign a loan, you need to be very careful as somebody who is preparing to go buy a home. Somebody will ask you, say, oh, to be co-sign, mean to me and to finana. No, you can buy. But if the time that you are going to buy the home is close, now Kwakuku will be car. The payment is $1,000, 300, a student loan, whatever it is, right there, no, it's not going to stop you from buying. But guess what? It's going to drop your credit score heavily, and it's going to take some time before you're going to recover from your credit scores, right? And also make sure that sometimes if you are going to co-sign a loan, I'm not talking about first-time buyers, anyone who is listening or anybody who are thinking they want to buy a home, if they are going to co-sign any kind of loan that you believe say, oh, any part with your own women, it doesn't prevent you from buying. But make sure that the payment is not coming from your account. Manipa na wo co-sign no onintua. So onitua, depending on the loan company, they'll say, okay, show 6 months. Say, yes, car payment in your wutia. Show 6 months. Say, if you we are, who co-sign in your wutia. But most lenders would like to see 12 months showing, say, okay, it's coming from the primary borrower account and not you. At that point, that debt doesn't count against you. Zero. Your income is tight and secured. And so that is one of the things that I also want to throw in there for first-time buyers or those who are preparing to buy. And sometimes also, no, depending on the programmer, the faster way your first time now work will signing if some programs as a first time buyer you are not going to qualify because by the virtue say within ever did this no fear now they're going to say you are on it, so this is a secondary home. Yeah, we are not going to count against you, but you are not going to get this program that we are offering because you are not a first time buyer. Nana Medimam back.
Okay, but I mean, Hono said we did in so because there are some situation whereby say we have somebody that his name is not on the if I said the loan, but indeed what did so. Is that both or just one?
Oh, and no crowd there. We did what did in this crowd there, no crowd there, easy for them to make a determination. because we did because no just any partner your loved one.
Okay.
And right then you own the home. Economy by the law, no, by virtue of you be on the deed, you are homeowner. You don't have to
Correct.
be on the
Correct.
loan.
On the loan, yes. Okay.
So once your name is there, yes, you are homeowner. But I'm talking about in case of DTI, say your debt to income, no. That's what I'm trying to give
Yeah.
guidelines as to say, the phobia concerning loan mana. Who make sure say the payment doesn't come from who account name no. Many into ya ama say who could to fee say, hey, would your card note 500? What say no, me buano. No market was okay, because just 6 months or 12 months payment, I say, and you know, would you say any penny at that point, even though your name is on it, they don't count it against you.
Right. Okay. Now, a house, if I say a house near discuss it, you being out there, if I say you're on the field, Ankasa, you know what's going on. You see people's info near them. I know so waka kakabia for home. Me to me, dear, I think say if you want to have a good relationship with somebody, so cool sign your money papa crano in this way. Obi na kai or say resentment. And say, I think say a disappointment a way better than resentment. Menchim kakra say ebi obi si ebi ma miss menye. Ma disappointing nipa no. Ya kan so atwa. Nemo me yema nipa na fi kudu baby na ko ba asema na me bu ofu nipa de bia no de bia se wakoma so tim kura kum. I understand that sometimes it be here more na bibisa, but me feel say cool sign and it's about time, especially your community. What do you think about back to your topic? So by says especially cool signing because we hold my house. I've seen a situation most of the time. I'm even cry, siblings, the big issues because when you're not say obeto dan see a kuku sign a few times or koto dan na kofa issue aba was right there and then change na nipa nso e bia wontimi change aka be 600,000 so be the way timi kuku 600,000 a whole lot of it wetimi kakra your take on that.
Yes. So in this co-sign business, it is very, very important that anytime you go in for co-signer, you have to prepare yourself for a long haul. Just like now you are saying. Just imagine, sir, during the COVID years when we have 2 years, 3 years interest rate. No abuwa me no mato me fee. Na me tua $2,000. Na and they will say, e bi a person otobi anase bibi nti no. Who you dear so. Na and then me kwa 7.5, which is times 3 of my current interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very difficult for me to yield for you, say, memoir financing. And in this case, one way, until the day me unless me told me if you are stuck on my loan forever.
Mm-hmm.
And ubet me mark won't mean refinance it. And I want to say who you dear for so the bank will not allow you to take your name off, especially when they come to home. Cars, sometimes some lenders are very flexible. So nipa no make it payment 12 months consistently. Make us only need to some financier they will say, oh yeah, take yourself off. Student loan, student loan, student loan. The same thing. Obi on more because take yourself off. But in most cases, you can't take yourself off unless any panel refinance. But one of the things that we need to think through is student loans. Student loan. So even God forbid, any panel sign a man. So in your media cry. Wow, signing the fact say what you are responsible for it. And in the United States, every debt would you it can be 10 million, 20 billion. So far as you have a genuine proof of natural, Oko bankruptcy, the court to forgive you. Student loan is the only exception. And you go sign will be student loan. Na se nipano won't ya now or sell credit. Any make file bankruptcy, cry, say Yeah, you may free so many what are down unless the lawyer even doesn't know what they are doing. A car wouldn't deny the better, but the student loan will still remain on you. And that is one on the co-sign. Sir, and people always throw this thing out there. Oh, Udia, you are the second on the loan. Oh, a loan no cranny, any trainer was oh your third. Into Udia, you are just a co-borrower. Please and please, there is nothing like a co-borrower in the eyes of the lender. Whether we are 10 people on the loan, your name is the number 10. They see you as the number 1. And they hold all the 10 people equally accountable for the repayment of the loan. Manuel Sinana.
Yo, the Reka Kakran say next week your topic near student loan. The fan said yeah, throughout the week now to Monday you be discussing. You be go in depth. Student loan, we have more to talk about, especially that cool your friend saying class loan, parents to sign, and also a way pa. Another one about the house, no so dear no. Me de bɛka kakra your brother kind say the amanfoɔ nim so no sɛ yɛmfa sɛ mede bro Alex ayɛ me co-signer na biribi saa si. I love the house. I want to be in there. Many situation bi a metumi ayɛ ama na yi ne din free so ne ade. Adeɛ baako a ebi so obetumi ayɛ nso sometimes obetumi afɔ so a mo asɛle house no. Obetumi go legal way and the drew a court no obetumi aka sɛ mo ntɔn fi. Ne bi anka baabi afei ne family ne adeda no wakɔtɔn. Most of the time, it be co-sign about because one, your home swing. Two, if we are buying too much of a house, the home your home team in Rieno, your cohonum, you know, a percent of 700,000, 800,000, maybe I'm home so 400. Intianutina was say a cocofa will be man be sign. To me, need the end it's about time I come to your say here. I know say in the past, you be that co-sign will be bisu co-sign if he say okay. Say when send yeah near be brief he say oh other oh cosani will be an eye then be crying near my question because in pantum but I think say knowing what I know now no it looks as if a big mistakes and probably brave. I know a situation whereby will be cosine will be no school cosine man no taught that be school now within 2 years no worry was so taught that it was a big fight, it was a big issue. People are not nice but yeah big between them. So I don't think so right now. Chroma solve that issue every. Hey, it you know, young train see a home song, especially your brother no can one about first time. No, so home song ya tobo net to near my never koto. Don't base on interest rates alone and the prices of the house and other better. We go through the policies now. The friends said the plan I can say even those things in our through. Betting at all because what go through the process. I'll be when you say why you're ready, you are prepared. Yes, and I'll be at all. But me, I into on crowd. Me and Tonka, betting at all. You know, that is what we have for you as your friends and first time. I was the first time I advise for we know. Yo, so what's up, so kasa? Me was over her. Opeso kasa. O send me chat. I can add you for you to talk. Yo, it's your next your friends say your next way. So yeah. The next one here, will mortgage rate go down in 2024? Mortgage go down 2024. Bro, person buying in and I make me kind of.
If I should take the lead.
Okay, yo. I'm say earlier on here, so share 2024 no. To say the near ko steadily in the ocean the near see kwana. It looks as if say next run the ebia ye hu see hu say besa akosru bi sisi unless any change because it looks as if I say from August, September, July, nyama mu ye kakra so but still no still nyama boy den na yin na see ade see kind say Fed no omo ade ba ko a omo boa was they are then they are the central friends and bank of the United States of America ade ba ko omo ho no ewo ayin say omo make sure say nyama ebo nye din bebre engine sem they have weapons on between they are bringing Yama down. If your interest rate cost to be because now Yama so near them, and the man say rising interest rate so far as an MSC kono, I know say people predict right about Sanyamano, but in terms of make about say even the predictions, no, it depends on the economy, what the Fed want to do and all that. It can be said right as MSC kono, ebia ebijina ho anase bi betimi akofom kakra in 2024. But say nyama change drastically, nyama change quickly, betimi abase bijina ho na betimi akosro. Yeah, so there's a prediction about National Association of Realtors say on here 2024 ebekosro by omo prediction and just ebekosro bebre sorry ebekofom and yes ebekofom bebre omo say within base 6 na ebeko be 6.5. Hey, that means say be a 0.5 by 0.5 no so calculate here if she say obi kura to down of 350,000 a total 350,000 you fancy they would pay 20% of avoid the PMI what you are money now. We interest your friends say of 6.5. What then kai 2,437. I think so we just the principal and interest and the other ones in town. It's any panan or told the rate of 6.5, 350,000. So court no the same house no for 6%. We share the difference now at 2,363. It's about 76%, $76 spend at Swati. I know so when it comes to buying a house and I'm making payment $76, maybe but say if because of 76 no it's now to the a wrong mistake. It don't based on say a back of man and I am because now they are taught say they make no you use wisdom though, but at the same time so no main based on that alone the moment before my bit me at a buffer bit me refinance it. That's number one. I give a call say who say so we share the period of 2022 January, basically the October, which is last month of 23. We share the rate, your friend is saying the interest rate in this coin usually in time kosa a buffer and yes, a buffer. It a buffer okay the period that the coin could do 2 something now. It was a long period that the could do 2 something. It even so even you are waiting, say, oh, chance of 2 something. That's a 3 something. You are mistaken. It's going to be a while, but and sana sa 3 drew. Another thing so I can say, oh, she averagely, and I think say, bro, let's be talking to more about that. Oh, she averagely interest rate United States now it's about what it is right now, which averagely now. And there was a point in the time now it was about 40, which is in the 80s now, say 16. People were still buying houses. We said at that time, a dime war from there. But the same way, because Usha sanity, that means say if you create bit me hatch, yeah, a holiday a Fed accept and a Fed make those things based on what the economy is doing. And the emphasis says next month unemployment more December is higher more. A bit me change your dream. The reason I am for can say we share a period of 2 years now issue about the economy or this country. Yeah, it's changing. I'm often say within 2 years time things are going to change. I that predictions bro. Oh, we can bit me a kafa.
Yes, so I think say this is not a marketing tool. I always use it, but when you are going to home ownership, yes, one of the I think say most Americans, with the exception of a handful of investors, are most Americans, just like those of us who are from diaspora, will think, oh, Mamingoto estate, Mingoto condo in Ghana, or let me go build whatever country you are from. Say, oh, and that's what Americans know. Let's think about it. For them, that's why they call it American dream. Just like those of us who are foreign born and answer if you look at cast your man back home. So we'll be fear and answer parents to fear how proud they are. Hey, we fear that kind of stuff. That is how Americans also look at it. But one of the things are talking about interest rate, let's not forget, sir, you also get opportunity of tax write-off, which some of us who are firms, we can testify. Say yes. Now, no, you're going to pay more, but you also remember, say, you get opportunity to write off a lot at the end of your taxes. And that's why sometimes you hear, say, oh, utofia alpha letters onyeska. That is where the idea is coming from, because your interest that you pay now at the end of the year, no, like December or January, your mortgage company will mail you your statement that is going to show how much interest you paid. Secondly, if there's a property taxes, which in this case, so won't you know, if you cry, you have a property taxes, and also follow taxes are the shame. So your interest rate affect your federal tax returns, and the property taxes also affect your state. So it is not all that daring like, oh, mutual interest rate the good keke. There's also advantage that you get, because for instance, somebody you own Unima now you $100,000. What are you writing off? There's no whole lot to write off. But once you have a home, that home, no, at the end of the year, you'll be able to write off your taxes. So even if you were paying Uncle Sama, you are not going to pay Uncle Sam. And if you are paying in Krana, it's going to be less. Or depending on your tax and your claim on your taxes are, because of this home, you might end up getting a return back. And so that is one of the things that, so you refinance it now, you also know, say, it's not like I'm just paying it off. And the home ownership now, like you're saying here, you know, also people have to know, say, now if I have a home that I have equity, $50,000 in it, and I need 20,000, and I have to walk to the bank. Say, Mama, I'm a personal loaner. With where interest rate is, they can say, oh, yeah, more 15%, right? But if I say, oh, that 20,000 may against me home, which I know say yes, different people have different opinions. Hey, don't borrow against your home. But let's say I really, really need it. Rather than make 15% interest rate now, I'm going to get home equity line of credit, which is HELOC, and HELOC rate has to be consistent with home mortgage. And guess what? In a worst case scenario, you might be 8%. And when you look at 8% on 20,000 versus 15%, you've cut your interest rate almost by half. But the beautiful part, say, because I say HELOC interest rate now, the interest on the HELOC now mutual, because it's a mortgage product now, I have opportunity to write off that interest no so makoji $20,000 no. Unlike me straight loan na me kwaji na yeah me 15% now, where I just pay the 15% and I don't happen to use that interest no. So you do the math between the two, say me having a home, I'm getting low interest rate on the money I'm borrowing, but even the interest rate I'm writing it off versus 15%, and you just throw it into the drain. So that's what I want to say on this.
Okay. Yɛn nuaba Akusua for wopɛ sɛ wokasa na wopɛ sɛ wokasa, go ahead. Nyɛ saa so a yɛkɔ. Em said there was Rolex. Em said there was a question bi. I don't know, say me ma wo yɛ ya. Kɔbra miento ko, kɔbra boate miento nka. Em said there was a question and nim say ma wo yɛ ya. There was this question about, I'll say you bought a home, first home with 5%, and you want to and you want to upsize such as open source. It is really prudent to sell your first home and use the equity to buy the biggest house with a current rate of 8%. So the whole thing is, I bought a house 5%, maybe 2, 3, 4 years back. Now maybe the size of the family increasing. But this time, no, interest me 8%. Is it prudent? Say, and I say, maybe if you say a nice and committee me, your take.
Yes, it's a very good question. So the answer, my answer it in two parts, right? It's yes and no, right? Yes, if my current need is I don't have any down payment at the moment, So my only option for this upgrade, and it is not even just upgrade. It can be downgrade because if your money into any money fee into a say if you can see what am I doing with it. But rather than some rent, I rather still want to invest my money. Into I would rather downsize.
Where you or specify say
Right. So I'm just
bigger
making
house.
just yes.
Example, okay.
Right. Example. So the point is that it's yes and no. Yes, if that is my only option, I don't have a down payment. And so I have to take this equity and roll into this new one. That is one option. No, if you have the means, a down payment, and you depend on where your house is setting up, and your house mortgage payment is low as when rate was down, it's an investment opportunity. I have clients that they rent their home and they are making $600 when they pay their HO and they pay their rent. So guess what? They bought themselves a bigger home. They are getting $600 that every month they can use to do something in their new home. So yes, if you have to sell it, just like you need the equity, then it's yes to do it. But if you can come out with a new down payment, then you can rent it out. Or depending on the income picture, you can also do what is called HELOC, home equity line of credit. So if you have 100,000 in there and you need maybe this new home is going to cost you 600. Okay, I need $60,000. Then you can go borrow $60,000 in this existing home. And then what happened? You still maintain this home, which is an investment. Obi timuna the otuya at the amount. At the same time, you've been able to take $60,000 and roll it into this new home. So there's three parts you can go about it. But me personally, if always the last two options are available to you, it's always good either to rent it out and get returns on it, or two, pull some of the money and then still let somebody rent it. But if sometimes your income also is limited, I remember if you go pull this $60,000 and you say, so, oh, I'm financing it for 15 years, depending on the current interest rate, maybe that also is going to be counted against your DTI. So let's say, oh, they say $500, that also is going to count against you as well. So all these three scenarios are very good options, but the two are my best ones if your financial picture allows you to do so.
Yeah, I'm saying Hano, I think I would disagree with you. My opinion, and I say your opinion, what I've seen is that when it comes to these things now, okay, what I'll base on experience and I'll base on let me say people that are winning with money. What I've seen is that they usually don't do what you suggested. One being say what they've realized is say how to build wealth. Even when you talk to people that have they say JC Penny, the guy that formed JC Penny, he said he's one of the people or no or mama for call in debt. The credit cards near they turn him out by one of the people who are not detested debt so badly. Why? Because what they've seen is say people that are winning with money, they usually don't do that. They finish with one and go to the next one. When they buy a house in this situation, either they will stop not selling it and go for that 8%, or maybe wait till they pay off their first home before they do the other one. But if they have no option but to move, maybe family has grown up, family I can say now beyond say they also move, they would rather sell that house and use it. Why? Because they've seen say the system now working. Unless everything has to be perfect for that thing to work. In the economy we sit here, a co-op now but down. It doesn't and yet perfect. Why? Because emphasis same the dime will be nipa team utia a mommy, which is good. Makota another one miss me 600 or so. Coming to think of it, no, so system now work. most of the time we are nipa into no if in the way we see a sen no sasen we are just so use no one ability equity amount that's good there. But if anything the economy go up and down as nipa into me no so too now at that point you be a man rent at say the COVID see and we this year that's be a more time in help from the government to help you to do that, then now you are in trouble. And if you are building wealth there, those things, because you share building wealth now they are winning with money, the two things when we use at the building wealth: one, employee sponsored retirement fund; two, their residency paid off. Then they move to the next one. All suggestion there are so many ways to build wealth. The one, but this is the peaceful way. They may make a peaceful way. I who say, and number two, uko back or years 10 years ago now, most of them are not in the game because the system got to be perfect before you're doing that. When you're bringing in line of credit, equity line of credit, and all that. So yeah, these are suggestions. They may make suggesting a very, very peaceful way, and I can testify, proof to it that. So you need part 10 be almost started to say yes, that will turn where you could not attorney, the equity attorney 10 years time, maybe a one pay. The only one pay not survives, maybe to a point being whom said the and yet they have to start paying down the house of the years. About yes, continue, yeah, we need per 100 and per 1 penny to me, okay, it was hard. So we become a bit me a caca home.
And just like you remember, I said, yes, I agree with what you are saying, but it's not everything that is meant for everybody. So, all they are saying. So that's why I gave 3 examples. So, 3 examples, no, comprises, one of them comprises what you are saying, right? Which is you have limited it to just one options. But
No, MCA Lucino. Hello.
people,
Okay.
we have different people.
Let me so break it. I say I was limited to one person.
Right. So, the American said, who you are just limiting to just one of the options that I said, right, which is selling it, right? But Obu also the financial situation, any other factor, no, allows them to do the second and the third, right? So one of the things, and not because I said, oh, me agent, but one of the things I realized over years, we the foreign, not foreigners, I'll say minority, that we think say, owning one home is enough, right? But when you look at other investors, any are there, why do people do flipping and so forth? Because yes, there are so many investors like buy insurance, other 401ks, retirements, or FRAs, all of them are very good, just like you always talk on the platform. But one of the tangible investment, not because I'm an agent, anybody can just go out there to Google, is the fact if you know how to play the system very well, is home. Why do people build apartment? Why do people all over the world buy houses? Because they are tangible. Even we're talking about value. The reason why we're talking about value in America is because America has an index that put fluctuation on home prices up and down. Where you and I are from, or most part of Africa, there's nothing like that. If I decided I'm selling my home like this, I'm selling it. There's not going to be a year whereby I say, oh, if you any boy air from. But guess what? Some of us or a lot of people who know even do trading, we can testify. So stock market is going up and down. People who even traded crypto. There was one crypto. I know now you follow it. A lot of people follow it. Overnight, this guy, whatever he did, he didn't do, was his Sikana Ashe. Sikana disappear. This is billions of dollars, right? But just imagine, say, and he lost a lot of money. Other people also lost millions and millions of dollars. Not to talk about the average Joe who put their 5,000, their 3,000, their 10,000, their 20 is gone. Or the crypto is gone. Even if it were to be like somebody is trading. I'm not promoting no company. Somebody is trading Amazon, is trading, Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way one day Microsoft is going to deplete on Wall Street and say, oh, she zero. No. Ebeko for my ebebasro. But what am I saying with home? With this home, even no matter how dire the economy is, and somebody live in that home, yes, values can go down. But if you're able to maintain that tenant in it, definitely that value will come down, will one day rise. And so, as going back to the values we started earlier, I just want to say clear that as an agent, people ask me this question: Alex, is home price going to go up forever? And I tell them, my brother, it's absolute no. And so, if you want me to tell you, say, Ufia Wotoni is going to remain $500 next year or 2 years, 3 years from now, my brother, then you can't buy the home. Nobody can guarantee the value of the home. But one thing I know, ni say, if your prices can go down, it can come up. And so to if you net 500, next year you wake up next year and you realize they say your home is 470. And fancy and good names, continue to live in your home, pay your mortgage. Before I realize a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, no, 5 years, if you near say a wetty 470, no, but when you say a wetty 530, that means 30,000 abetoson. And so I wouldn't say that
50,000.
because of, yes, I wouldn't say because of say a tenant. There's always risk to every investment. And so if you have the edge, say you want to buy a home and rent it out or something, no, there's always risk to every investment. 401k, yeah, and I say rough area near the idea,
Mm-hmm.
it's all tied to stock market.
Yes.
Other than the only thing that is fixed is this insurance, those ones that through insurance, yeah, the way the index is pegged, and they peg it, say, okay, you're always going to make 5%. If the market is rallying, you make profit. But we are guaranteeing, say, so far as your capital is guaranteeing, whether the market goes, no matter how low it goes, your 5% is still there. Other than that, there's always going to be volatile, just like you are saying. And so, you see, so we share in so the what time whether would me and your food because I don't do better on him.
When you said the okay and said the okay, dine prices now, okay, say, a dine prices and call from that one spend a call from usually, who's at the end, okay, say, on average, a dime price is called the because betting my average or per year, even though sometimes they call from Kakrebi and call from that. Number two, you call to say insurance, nothing now kind of class say, and we say, almost they are tied to for principal for 5%. But on average, stock markets a cost rubber from on average, am I 10%? Last year it was bear market, it was down 20%. Right now it was 10% now, right? Before then it was 18%, which is 2022. Sorry, 2021. 2020 it was 28%. It say if you to sign insurance now, almost is you. Almost 10% every year, no more 5%. Wow, meanwhile, wow, betting I the same thing. What did they make? I know say a BBI community near to your home, a wrong mistakes. Our insurance now, you're to your home, be brave, The auto man, Unyeska be brave, Unyesika be briska, Umunyano, and as I uplifted, Moyen. Obegada or say you move bro my say you can borrow from that money. Yes, you can. Why would you want to borrow your own money? I don't know why would you say when or Joe 5% no aqua. They will tell you say people invest who invest or insurance. They rather own it. Invest yes insurance now or yeah for something. That's what they purchase in the house because there are so many ways of it they are paying for it. But so more for so we invest no or 10% over the stock exchange. To say crypto can't crypto. You see, usually if you don't understand something, investing, you don't do it. house here okay as say house no to say we I understand say people do it but also me can be say you should study it just say nipa be invest in those things no for the 10 years time they won't be in, you can be in the 10 years in the stock exchange if you're doing indexing you're still going to be there you'll be fine because year be where be from the be 10% on average sister Rita Safri be na me fan to no so kasa it yeah I understand the part now but maybe I was basing on say if I want to do something especially financially if I want to do something and financial in life if you want to do something you go to the people that have done it and they are winning then you do with them these days we call all over internet all over baby the bit show he would taught Diana they said they taught Diana they are renting Charlie the issues what's at that point and what that now be sorry akoye win sa ne man amafo en fan ka ho yes equity bebem but hwe mu a nipa 10 bia be start sa business na oto dan no equity no de ato foforo no eyi no de ato no de foforo no de upa bro wo de so ya adwuma ya che upa ko back let's start say nipa 10 ani mo ma hwe say 10 years time up to now no mo da so game no ma me ma say that transi ahwe sa de no they won't be in the game they won't because it has to be perfect for be say economy near perfect and something you say economy near perfect all the time because no about form and I make example since we be kra ba say ultimate dan me wo me dan me team to say situation yen nyae no me team mato foforo me dia rent na me sika so me pepe bia okay mini sika bi da ba bia me na say economy ni kofom na nipa ni tu na so ntimi ntua mortgage for no mu duom sika it has to come from me people lose their houses on those issues all the time the best way to say they make I understand so say one option the one option I make can say and that's what is winning because it's a building what you build what in silence right? We're building a gradual and a process and yet in a rush. The old kind, I know so my option I'm a kind so woody, but most people do the other two now way and you by debt. When the more you owe, the risk you are, right? And with the debt to be which is leveraging. If you say it's sophisticated, if you say you beat the system, no, you can never beat the system. At the end, they will catch you. But me at a few people. And I've studied the people that have gone through that process. At the end, they lose. At the end, we lose sanity because the economy has to be perfect. And sana yes, it has to be perfect. No way in a situation whereby I nowhere in a situation whereby bibi ekoso kama and sana sa process na go through because the moment we down 3, 4, 5 among 40 mutua yes mutua ma bibi si na sa nkofo nyina tu a who is paying their houses you are losing those houses and if you're losing those houses it may be to the point say ultimate credit lose one fee ye hu bebre ye hu bi da yes it's good by ohwe nipa bebre omo wene continue to win and yes I no process net here in our eyes no sa ni fee see it here we share the text out there the system na cost na most people we 100 one pay and a winning that situation one pay we need 100 be a one pay yes or better to a cost but at the end no lose it will be become a bit me account from yes I say a bit me another question sister Rita a bit me afraid kasa bro sister Rita a bit me a calling bro kasa
No, but I say continue.
Yo, it's a good your brother Alex some instances you are bit me the way your friends or no field no to when you the ekoso ankasa a bit me aboa ama wetimi away your brother capital so chipping no say here about see what Alex is saying is that if you have the means to buy another house do it. Patrick, are you suggesting the economy has to be perfect before one can own a house as a investment property? Yes, and I'm not saying say the economy has to be perfect before you own it. What I'm saying is say you, and I'm basing this based on the text on the ground. People that are winning with money. This is what they do. They buy a house They pay off that house. They buy another one. They pay off that one. They buy another one. This is going to take you a period of, so if Omoma is serious, it takes them a period of about 15, 20 years. That is how wealth is built. Also, in your ground. Yes, we to feel equity. Now they are another one. Now they are one. Capito, I want you to go back. When you be an 10 years ago, when you probably 10, whereas now they are still doing the same thing. We are mamenya way. So if I want to be a pastor, me call ubia or yet doctor or say doctor. If I say me a pastor, the call pastor on a mission be a pastor. Na my be. Yeah, in our mind, no, the who be say, oh, it is a ubi at the car casim, what if you can see they are winning with money. In a sense, in actual sense, Nankasano. Most people doing that tenor, they are not winning. Because of here, the people that are millionaires now, one, they live in a 25 square feet house. Two, they don't use flashy cars like we think. Those people are called consumers. Omo makers use big house, flashy cars. They make a lot of money. Omo they make it but they have nothing because they spend it and spend more than what they have. They buy houses to sell the air can to another one. No move. That's they are doing something there. But in a sense, no, they are the people that are not winning. But in our eyes, you see some no winning. Omo winning pie or next neighbor now. Who is able call slow steady no or make it 80,000. ABA is movie by on average, I'm talking of people that make 200 gradually within 15 years now, what 20 house we say if what you fear we now you bring in money now because we fear in scanner with the ban at the tour quickly a big mouse come on to another house so quickly. What I'm trying to say those people they stay away from especially the Kuswa use leverage in this animal. That's how they were able to build wealth. Gradually take their time. Yes, there are people who are yet to say, "Yeah, brother, let's say can." But those people, we need 100 be a 1 penny winning. Why? Because the economy got to be perfect before sad now. Oh yeah,
Nana, I'm not trying to interject here, right?
No, go ahead. Say,
but
go ahead.
I think it's I don't know where the start is coming from, right? In everything, I like the fact that your example you are giving is a very good one. That you go to the expert, right? And so there are parts years ago that in our community, because most of us gather on this, like if I say Yeka, the local dialect means that all of us are Ghanaians, right? But it's because I said amount for good lessons. They did not get advice and answer when they were buying this investment home here and there now. One more good coaching and here and there. And so people now, people are enlightened. And I like today consumers. When people come to me as buyers, when I compare 20 years ago, I would say 20 years, 18 years ago, when I bought my own home. At that time, I wasn't an agent, right? When I realized the service that was given to me and the knowledge that I had, and then being an agent, and the question that people ask me, and how by God's grace I'm empowering my clients. When they leave this process now, even if they came in with nothing, they've been really educated and understand the process. Because especially some of us being in son of immigrant and in our community, when we have close community, I serve the general public. But it's easy when our friend Nana do something to Nana and it doesn't go well and Nana put a word out there, your image is tarnished, right? So we try to help people do the right thing. And so this buying investment home and other things now is good, but if you don't do it very well, then it become a curse like you're saying. I know a lot of people, a guy that I bought him a first home for 2018, I built him a brand new home. Now this guy owns what? 4 or 5 homes. And not just in DMV here. It's across United States. And it's working. He's managing it. This is not a rich guy. Yes, he's a high earner, but he knows how to do it. He's buying the home in strategic area. So just like we said, real estate is all about location. When people come to me and they are buying their first home, and especially knowing, say, oh, Alex, I have in mind, say, maybe may renting it later. I always want to steer them to a hot zone. I know, say, so cast or rent here, there's always going to be renters. Guess what? When there's economical downturn and people cannot buy homes or any rate cost here, guess what is happening? Renting is raining because when somebody is renting their townhome for 2,700, the same townhome no, in the community now the value is 500,000, and this Okoto, that's what the 5% was here. Their mortgage is going to be 3,500 or 3,700, and so people who are not well to do to even buy nana, where they look at that guy townhome and this is a cheap version for me, so I'm going to rent it. And so it's all about you knowing what you are doing. Yes, I'm not painting a rosy picture. There can be 1 month, 2 months, when you're a tenant, but that's part of investor. So you build a cushion and then put it there. When in between the time will be to renovate and I say 2 months, when you're a tenant now, you put them there. I understand everything is not for everybody, but you say it's 100 people buy investment home, only 1% win. I'm here to see the statistics. A lot of people who do it very well end up coming on top. The only thing that I always encourage people is that when you are, this is just a loop, who offers some now renting. Next, every time I overturn one, right? Uncle Sam is going to ask you, make sure say if you want to move 2 years. If you live in it 2 years before Ansana, we'll move it out to your next home. Next do time I one. Well, you can say it was my primary residence because you lived there for 2 good years. Ansana Wotong. So there are so many laws and loopholes out there that before you sell some of this investment home and that kind of thing, talk to accountant or some of us, we give free consultation. You call me. If I have the knowledge, why not? I will share with you. But I don't think that it's entirely wrong. Say, people are not winning. No, people are winning. It's just like stock market is fluctuating. Obi Baka to say, hey, and I'm a koto Amazon, I'm a lose $5,000. Well, you maybe you are thinking say, short time you want to make the money. Time I walk out says what 5. Obi so they see opportunity, they are buying, right? And so they are waiting for time that is rallying. And I say, hey, be I want a rally a profit buy and when take a profit. Greediness, you thought that stock market rally forever. Obviously, why quick. Onya profit and one. They are waiting for the next dip and then going in again. And so you just have to know how to play the game. That is all. But I don't think say in any game, not in just real estate, you have to know when to make profit, get out, retreat, and then re-enter. That is what I would say.
That's like timing it. But we've seen say timing all the time coming to investing. When you're timing, you always lose.
Not really like timing it because it's profit, right? Like a lot of people who bought homes, like let's say 2019, as you and I are talking, so Bito, I have clients that I bought home for them.
Actually, in a time that I'm not for discussion here good in
Right. In this our DMV area, right? They pay for 350,000 home in 2019. And then I'm in worker say, yeah, the home worth 450, 470. Right? So if you have cash out mentality and you are scared, you say, hey, I did over $100,000 room. Me treat your brokers crana. I'm still going to walk away with 80,000. If you think that well, you don't have the heart to make this thing rally, Sally, take your $80,000 and go sit and look and see what the future brings, right? But the next as now say we'll continue with the rally, rally. Next I get to a point that there's a pullback. Then what are you going to do?
Yo, you remember how? Okay, you remember Nana Busi the question we have by discuss this here. But my miss our question be who make key example say my toy Amazon may lose 5,000. Would you use your retirement to buy just Amazon? And I would emphasize say Tesla. You just buy Tesla with your retirement?
No, that's why we call diversification of investment, right? So when you are investing, you have to diversify it. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. Just like you're always preaching on this platform and the financial platform, which I like it. I don't comment, but I a lot of time I take my time to read all the comments because I don't do the nyans and to do. I always read them. Sometimes I just give thumbs up. I don't say anything, which is very good. It's empowering us. And so you diverse it, right? You don't put it all in one basket. What Amazon kakra, just like you're saying, you want to futures, right? A stock can drop more than a future when you follow it, because the futures, for the purpose of a year, we are not talking about but just ABR educational futures are the major index, S&P, Nasdaq, and then Dow, and those small caps, right? So you can see, sir, there will be a day the Nasdaq will not either rally like today, for instance. It was just in the it was at a point like -1 +5. At the end of the day, the Nasdaq end up rallying. No, I'm an investor. So I've been an agent. I have to empower myself and educate my people, right? So you realize that today, Nasdaq was one of them. It was 20. All of them, there was none of them that hit 100, right? But at the same time, when you go to
that was 34.54. S&P was 7.64, and AAP also was 2.58. Yeah, it was even though it went up by, it wasn't much. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is that so what diversify will portfolio, right? If you do bit mark Tesla and also bit mark one stock, if you don't know, we didn't rally, we didn't lose, it was just small rally. But because I said just one stock, so that stock and then can drop maybe even 5%, right? But thank what to wake a cry. We win a tick off from Cassie, but we aren't out from Cassie. And you always want to make sure, say, with say work and say, Nadia, who they could talk, who they share or business of rough area, and I said, any a year. It's always safe that you diversify what to stock, what to futures, what to, especially now with a high interest rate, the 2 years treasury notes, the 10 years, the 15 and the 30, they are stable. And when stock market is dipping, people run into those safe assets. But when what you kra and yes about cook off money do and that's what our advice say. In this case now, to answer your question, no, it's not a good idea to put internet. Yeah, we know, sir, some of the market are strong, like those big caps like Amazon, those kind of Microsoft, Alphabet, those mega caps. And when it comes to Dawa, buy staples. Staples are something. Staples, you can bet. Casco will never go broke. They be a yedidi. Walmart, they be a yedidi. And to make sure that you buy, high performance, which is the Nasdaq, and no, that's where you're going to make the profit. But I also now
question be it's for you too. But me can be answer any question any. Me answer here. But me say one to be. When about the house now, make us say there are people are not winning. I'm not saying say you'll be at a house back home. Yeah, the name equals what to another one. If you go to TikTok, you can hear what I'm talking about. People are making it sound like buy a house, you take equity within a year, or buy 17 houses with equity here and there. That is what I'm talking about. And that's what people are preaching these days. Get money rich. And we all know what happens. Anytime our economy no ABC and suddenly bapa. Suddenly about to see your motherfucker buy a house, do this, this and money now. To say the mekan, a lot of people are not winning. Sound no my class or no bania Jews can no more. That's what I'm talking about. Those exactly. Yeah, buying a one house be another two house be when it comes to that. And yeah, I know the say they make people that are make us some winning. They all do the same thing, but the only difference is say no, they take their time, they make sure they finish this one and hop to the next one. Until at the end, wow, said yeah, be a with me at all. Maybe I won't try the other way. Maybe by the end, within a period of 15 years, maybe I will bear 5 or no bear 3, but on the end is paid off sound. You will be able to fear, I just kind of finish them, that's why not necessarily they are not winning, they are winning. But I'm talking of that. I don't know, meaning say we used that on TikTok name these days online. It's like you can buy a house, about 10 houses within a year. The blue our own first can twice year. That's what I was preaching. Anyway, let's go back to this. Or say, is it better to buy a condo than renting if you don't have enough to buy a house? Your take?
So now, no, what is a condo, right? Condo in the olden days, when you talk about condo, people are Obia drink could see your friend is saying that level apartment house, right? One level and a 2 level. Now definition of condo is just an ownership. Into what Marcus, a single family community, a condo. Why? Condo means it's a lifestyle, right? So condo now you own inside and the management own outside. That means any maintenance outside that the whole HO will not take care of it, and you take care of the inside. That's condo. So if somebody says buying condo, is it because of say ABA a condo near small? Because a condo can be a single family. A condo can be a 3-level, 9-star home, but it's still a condo ownership. The only difference between townhome or regular townhome and condo is there. On condo now, the HOA dues is high because they maintain the outside for you and you maintain inside. So you have option lifestyle versus do I want to invest into a condo or how do you call it, and regular townhome. So if that question is not that clear because obi betumi atena condo mu na the same condo when you combine the condo fee, some condos are reasonable, but I know that Oko Alexandra near the idea they are 1-level condo, the condo fee is $600 and it's 2-bedroom condo.
Easy.
So by the time you add your monthly payment and the 600 payment, you realize that rather than investing $600 in a condo fee, you could have add some to it and buy a regular townhome, and then that $500 now the mark condo. You rather pay $100 in HO, and the $500 rather will go to a property rather than paying $500 free for the condo ownership. So I'm not sure whether I've answered the question.
I think so. I say you giving the points of say. So another question is say, is it rather say or better condo than sober rent? I guess say or maybe I already say or person to fee at the same time. See some people they rent in the fee say they are throwing the money away. Other say commit may idea. Why not buy a condo? Say no, see kind of. But I'm say your explanation which say being the condo fee no it's not a thing to play with. Yeah, but at the same time, maybe our condo, maybe say be a Woodbridge, and maybe say be a better format. What do you think? I know, so be okay, and if say near high area now, because I believe that this person, the question it looked like Obeton and Chibia no
Yes, condo no American. When it comes to condos, I think that people maybe so the idea is say thinking say maybe a condo near small no, and that means it's going to be a small mortgage. And I make sure say yes.
Yeah, I mean, hold on.
The-
Obi aba mu nti ọba a woka sɛ yɛ ɔno a. Yo, bro, koso.
Yeah, so yes, it's true. But some of this na make now, some of these small condos now because of this higher condo fee now, they're going to realize that even though yes, the home is a 3-bedroom condominium, it's maybe in Woodbridge, maybe they're selling for 280, but to know that the condo fee is about 480, right? So if that is what is going to think and say, well, so then the condo is going to be cheaper instead of the townhome. What I'm trying to say is it's not always the case.
Okay, good. Yo, so no aside by say, from what we say, you know, Nabunzo side by say, it looks as if from what we're saying, it looks as if say better so rented than buying a condo or townhome. I mean, townhome and condo, big difference. So I don't think say I don't think say sana opeso chana person the chance say or say oh baby now utia condo fee 600. It really doesn't really make sense. But it depends also. But I will be maybe a condo fee no cry about 200, 300 near. Nina also real options near there. And the way near money city. But I'm saying in conclusion, you know, I would say it depends on the area, no. So high area now. Oh, my heart now to condo now between condo 1,000 to yes, maybe to me to condo fee 1,000 to depend on the location I want. And no the areas are no in kakra. Yeah, by townhome ni condo and the same, different, big different. All things being equal. All things being equal, and I would say yeah, buy something if it's moderate because a bit more opinion a bit more kakra equity kakra at least kakra instead united the braless can was within 3, 4, 5 years be nice sizable baby kakra and I need now see location because koto kondo baby bia ebia o ton kra be yedin by a hot area so na hot area no so na ya na ska no ewo mo ewo your friend saying condo fee no. Yeah, but you can buy a townhome though. They're the same. Townhome and condo different. So, won't ya condo fee ni townhome. Townhome tia HO to set the way now. As a matter of fact, townhome cry near back cry. Yana you are depending on your situation. No, you may be wrong. I think say it deserve a townhome instead of just a single family. Because if you are a single family, no, we are not making use of it. Your sister Akusia well sister wobɛtumi akasa I'm say now ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkasa time and yɛ start si yɛka dan no asɛm no watry
Yeah.
so wotumi wafe no wawuram nti no mede way you need to something kakra aka fa ho no saying I think the
Okay.
first house can be rented out and private person can okay go ahead also
Okay.
your thought.
You impen from Pacho me mamu. Good evening. Yeah, that was in Sunday, my joint training, my dad. Yeah, not time I'm more can a dino who and I wanted to chip in something. And I'm person me can say a friend is saying, I think say Nyamumi in Kanya is very good, but I was thinking say the person can seek for maybe a private or be a bit me a dinosaur. Now we're making sure say if there are some people charge a smaller fee. No, we're making sure say if there will be tenants in the building every time and then because sometimes once Ghana for and mostly yɛndwen akɛseɛ mu wahu sɛ yɛpɛ biribiara nkakra but I think it's time for us to think bigger. Well, we should go for the kill. Yeah. Sometimes it's very risky. Bibi and what obi say said aduane a yedi kura risky because in now kura wutimi ye there. Anyway, so the person can say bia and rent in a bia tenant betimi afrim ni ade a the person can seek for obetimi apɛ obi a secretary and so obetimi de ama organization bi na ɔmahwɛ so to make sure say every time bia na obenya obi nkɔfo ɔmo bɛ rent. And about investment kakra mesua ne say investment yɛ adeɛ bi a wode wo sika ɛkɔhyɛ mu a you have to have control over it. Well, and yes, so you be like obi something like this treasury bills and all those things. Some people will decide the percentage that you need to get, but it should be something at 10 B and you have total control over it. One
What's with an
kasa
example kakra
Example, to say bibi to say farming,
Okay.
bibi to say farming, bibi to say ebia doing business with the money. Ebia o ton
BB.
bibi.
Okay.
Because I know one kasa usika na say sisi akra my marriage say me person me be me cleaning business. Enti bia sika na me ba koto treasury bills bi metime use sa sika na bi de akoto equipment and say bibi. That one I'm managing my own thing. So I will see the cash flow, the in and the outflow of the money. But ebia me de koto Amazon me de koto it's board of members been a directors been on matter also this year we have to give those people this percent. But so wow sika no wow hwɛ so na wow invest wɔ ade a wankasa w'ani ho ne ade a you know how to manage your money.
It
If
means a
you
question.
paper
Okay.
chain.
My be cleaning company.
Uh-huh.
My auto equipment. Emphasis 10,000. Me the
Okay.
be 6,000 my equipment year juma. Me the be 4,000 to me in case BBC me the year juma na me the be to Tonyama. Now it's booming. Scare ba, inflow cash ba eba. Says can be ready. Me say be another business. Mommy invest in anything and that's the thing. We a question. We you be an bisa me bisa.
Oh no yeah.
Because no me
Na me
and them.
kakra. Yeah, kakra me hu ne say investment say na make me na me bie bibi sa na emfaso ba. I would rather invest it into another business. Ebia to say now also we are draining company, right? To make me there be another bibi fufuro.
Yeah, and so cost next care, but no I say be around for it.
Aha.
All your life will be business. I won't invest be that. And I say
Oh,
so
no,
send it
no,
and investment, but I won't yet.
no, it's investment and
No,
you have
maybe
control
sakeke.
over it. Yeah,
Maybe sa say
yeah,
maybe sa no.
it's
Yeah.
investment. And I believe, my belief in this, and as I say, investment is something that you should have control. Say, be
Is that the definition of investment or who fees a wood no?
me dear no and I
Okay.
and I think it's really good because investment near can be brave or nipa aye bi pen ade becho be ko meka just say obeka say but be set of fear na me ye say na me yet of it on. It was I just started with less than $3. Just within some 3 months no now I'm almost more than $2,000. What I say because I manage the things myself. I know AB out of enable. I go to the customers because it's mine. So I put everything within me into it. And it was really helping. Yes, those investments are good, and sometimes the risk is a little bit low than maybe you can acquire business and answer be bisa. But the business, maybe you can give yourself some time. When you give yourself and you don't give up now, before say niyama ebeye dan obi be kase when they say or China say crypto sikani nyana shene all those things. It's not easy to do business, but when you give yourself some time and you don't give up with resilience in the I think that one is far better. And a dine also no we should think about yes going to renting real estate and all that. We should think big. It's not easy, but I think we can do it because people are doing it. I know some gentlemen we are more in New York, younger guys our dime bay 15 Ghana ni our dime bay 15 now also you're starting to now or started by 7 years ni. And madam for being so joining on also
All paid off
people are
or
reading
I'm not paid off. It's all paid off or is
for
it
the rent. I don't know, I didn't ask. Now I was
okay.
asking how things are go like not all church me so but I didn't ask what pay. I don't think so I pay now as
Okay.
to start here send na papa na can or start here na you be know what they are doing now.
You mean the
Very young guy, he's
bra
less than
Alex
40
okay.
years he's less than 40 years but he's really doing. So I think people are really, it's not easy, it's risky, but we can do it. No matter if we are so determined, we can do it.
Yo. And then your time now pa be bebree. Now for say discussion is good. Next week we need essential. Next week you better talking more about student loan. So by dino I'm say you better call round 2. Bro Alex, you better call round 2. Sister step here, you better call round 2. And then call round 2 can yeah when you can next time about I think say all discussions it was very in our opinion yeah day what opinion be yeah now the about moment in fanko unima your brother pacho yebeko by my brother and fan to agent or a real estate agent or most of our people our community. But it comes to a dime to near the Munami sending missity a has a man also be born the 100%. Bro, for information to na BBI in your sister, we are often with information better na I'm out for so about.
But it's the same directors cleaning and home services, you know.
What we are the information better. Emma Brales started first.
Well,
Bra.
Medas Nana for always the opportunity to have discussion and share with our people and the audience. Minas Yami, Eshra woman, your bompire said ye na ye kana adeɛ bi a ɛdi nsa bɛsom ebe nyɛ that one ko na yɛhu sɛ ekurome and there's opportunity for us to expand and we can make life meaningful in this country just like yɛn nuabaa ne ɛreka no na yɛn thinking narrow but we should begin to aspire bigger because me particular me also me a part of it. When you look at Ghanaians and African based, we don't own anything in this United States other than African market. But when you look at our counterpart, the old gas station, 7-Eleven, name them. And I think that it's about time we can begin to come together, depending on who you can agree with, begin to emerge. Yeah, to say side business, we a 50-50. And I think by so doing now, we can also begin to change things for ourselves and our descendants so that once we are not here now, will not be like, Yakona Yavafi and Yama. Intino, Menoma A 703 577 0872. Messiah Timubium 703 577 0872. And I said, Obasa, we email me. My first name Alex, and then second part of my last name a champion. Dot smp as Paul at gmail.com. And I'm a full name Ugugu Alex Admakwe Champion. Maybe I will be my name will show up on Google. You find every information of me. Jamaica can say Medasi. Any the platform, any other thing Yamishram, good night.
Yo, bro, that's a information now. The Diankasa de Alex Domako a champion. I tell you, make an boy movie bree or a dine tomu. And you know, my advice be bree when the BB or Nimbia no call quandia or no be share. I tell you, can most of the no share no so a free. You be on my office or could be a Bejiniska. You be almost the money for free. Sister Rita, I remember now before so be your brother back home. Francis was also joining very late. I'm say, oh no, or say I just came late. I have been trying making business in Ghana so many times and it doesn't work. But now I have started doing CD in US. What do you want? What do you think about this? Yo, I'm say, your time a copa. Next week, this is a topic. You best start the whole thing, bro. Your time is 7 to 9 p.m. and your train be will be chair will push here. It stay put. But at the same time, conversation is soon try. Oko Patrik Barfi, Patrik Barfi, Facebook, friends saying, YouTuber. Bit me the questions, bit me the BBA, and I say, questions, I bit me email patricksolutions@gmail.com or pnybbarfi@hotmail.com. Number is 703-981-1910. Yɛboa for nneɛma bebree investing biribiara deɛ mentumi nyɛ no so no ɔba sɛ ɛba sɛ dan tɔ ɛba sɛ tɔfe tɔn a sister Rita hɔ for tɔfe ɛdan tɔ braless wɔ hɔnom sister nyɛ sɛ tɔfe no mede ka saa sɛ ɔyɛ ɔboa investing
I like
wobɛtumi ama
it.
the right people a wobɛtumi
I like it.
yeah. Eti bro, stay put. Yeah, ebeka wasem no. Please, mun share mo so nya, mun share ne nkwa akiri. You see try say a community, be na yekese. Ni so it said ye kan no. E hwe opposite side na gas stations ne 7-Eleven omun kwa na aye. yɛde yɛntimi nyɛ hwee wɔ ha yɛyɛ a ne yɛkukuru no nyinaa ne yɛde kɔ Ghana ɛyɛ Ghana ɛyɛ ba ha so yɛ yɛbɛtumi astarte wɔ ha na end up yɛ wɔ Ghana start akɔ for information to hɔ na nneɛma a wɔyɛ na afei no.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Barfi, thank you so much for this opportunity. But your friend Merita Binsian and as Akusia for you. Yeah, made the Juma me tidy pan said there be a Ghana who there. Yes, no chrome her, but Ghana you crobia at that me like I love Ghana and I know saying so yeah pe Ghana. Nti no me wo kuo bi a ya join me di Mr. your friend Mr. Kwabrada akon ona me
Nyina
follow
nipa bebree no ma interview no wɔ ha da.
yeah Kwabrada akon yeah nti no me number na 2404754571 2404754571 kakra me de betwa to ne se ye bibi to say ye pese ye kabo ma se group na ye company nti na ebi obi wo group yi so na se or you interested a obetimi afrɛ me number no say me tonto pe na me pese me bie me cleaning company so nti number no say be obi interested in anything obetimi
Nti
afrɛ me
investing na ɛyɛ ha na ɛyɛ Ghana.
me pa try Ghana it's
Ɛne
in Ghana
bro Francis owusu ɛne ɛm sɛ wɔsɛ link up with sister fa number no to so bi no link up
yeah
to because
me
what try
number
Ghana
is
ɔtare na why ɔtare na why
yeah
you know.
bra
Yeah.
obe join there obe enema bebre
Acho
ho
fa
a you
number no
like
bra fa number
yeah
no ma na bit
240
240
475
475
4571 Rita
4571
Obinsian, yeah,
yo
240-475-4571. We are trying to do something here too, but the Ghana is the main goal. Yeah, Ghana is the
yo
main
me da
goal.
mu nyina ase da mase
And that's it.
bebree mon share ubetumi akɔ me YouTube your friends channel Patrik Barfi Patrick without C Barfi o join a e will bebree content I we krom kasa English wɔ hɔ ebetumi aboa ama wayɛ yi your friend say your brother Obenda Akonso, he's doing a phenomenal job. I've seen that he's changing minds in Ghana. Or yeah, Juma Papa. Or my proud see Africans and or church and never be brave. System I use to hand issue Ghana and in fact Ghana any different between aye. Or my TS baby a bit me and yet America and I say yes abuchin kwa I must say Ghana for be brave. Nancy be brave. Join no. Or also the YouTube channel or Obenda Akon. Binya nneɛma papa afiri mu paa yɛnkae wohia dan a bra Alex so wɔ ha Alex Champon Ademakwa Champon nti no wo nua bi a na wobisa hia biribi so a ɛna te sɛ deɛ yɛka no investing no ɛyɛ kurom ha anaasɛ ɛyɛ yi so wo ho sister Rita so a ɔno nso bɛtumi aboa me so I try as much as I can say mɛboa yɛ community no sɛ yɛbɛtumi de financial de yɛn ho asi yie here we change people's life when it comes to personal finance. You make sure say you stay out of debt or minimize our debt, take care of risk, whereby you make sure say insurance is in there, you put things in place. Now so you invest it. Also personal development, you make sure say you pay your personal development so so. It then na you train bebree. It na bonsu bra Alex sister Rita kwabena mankaiwa fachemi omo ba nyinaa no nyame nhyira mu nyinaa next week 7 to 9 p.m. wɔ ha yɛ BM Sikasɛm program no yɛde bɛbrɛ bio nti no before we go no make sure say you spend wisely and make sure say you save intentionally and give until we meet again next week. Your boy Patrik Barfi and Francis also. Peace. All right. Bye bye.